The following program is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. You can request podcast topics, enjoy exclusive RPG and video content, and more. Even just $1 a month gets you gameplay episodes a week early and makes you officially cool. Just like our Trash Elite Rob and a guy from Ohio, DG, Destrucity, KTL, Drake Starstorm, Passion Killer 711, Kitty Holbrook. That is the list as of this day. You could be on that list by going to that Patreon, give me $1. I said that before at Bookends, but I don't know if you guys know this or not. I record that little first intro bit. I did that last year. And then we breach into this. Greetings and salutations. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by the boy. Hi. This is the Two Nerds Podcast. Today we're talking about AEW WrestleDream 2025. Before we get into that, let's have a very brief exploration into our preceding week. My friend, what's crumpin'?
Mostly a lot of Diablo 2.
Diablo?
I mentioned it last Crump. It's a game from my childhood, and I love it, and I've been playing it when I need something to do with my hands, and it's very nostalgic and good. Watching the new season of Critical Role, and still watching Elementary. Once again, it is a pretty bad adaptation of Sherlock Holmes and a pretty great show. And that dichotomy continues to intrigue and amuse me. You?
For about 3 days spread out over a week, I managed to derive some extract of satisfaction from Skyrim. In the year of our Lord Cthulhu, there's a callback for all you longtime listeners, 20,025. It faded as I hit the grind wall. I never finished the final DLC where you go to Solstheim.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, I got a ways into it, but I just, never finished it. It happens usually with the final DLC of a big game like that for me. And I would love to. And there was some stuff that I thought was new to the game, but was actually mods I didn't realize I had installed. That seemed intriguing. But then this is on the new Xbox, and my original saves from our original Skyrim are not there.
They're from the Xbox 360.
Yeah, so I have to start from scratch, and I don't have it in me to do all these quests a fifth time.
Yeah. I sucked all of the blood out of that stone many a moon ago. I'm happy you were able to get some.
Yeah, the last time I played, I went to a tomb and was like, man, this place looks familiar. And then I remembered it was the one for the Bard's College. The first quest where you find that book of the poem and whatnot. And I love that quest line, but I don't want to do it again. I just don't. Otherwise, I had jury duty and personal life crises. So that's basically been my week. We're doing good now. Hey, if you want to offer me encouragement, let me know in the comments section. I could really use it.
That's good driving engagement.
Yeah, I'm trying. Let's get to this pay-per-view here. Real podcast starts at timestamp. Spoiler-free review, even though we're a couple of days hence. What did you think of this show?
It was mid.
It was unbalanced for me. About halfway through, they really lost me, and they never got me back. We didn't watch the pre-show this time because of scheduling.
Events conspired to prevent us from watching the thing on Saturday.
I suppose that's another thing I crumped. I saw a live-ass play. It was Dracula, a comedy of terrors. It was silly. It reminded me of the stuff I wrote in high school. It made me kind of miss the theater because I did a lot of acting when I was younger. And it was nice. Anyway, back to wrestling, which is just theater with punches.
Yeah, more punches. Sometimes there are punches in the theater.
Yeah, well, yeah. So let's jump into this fucking nothing burger of a card. We begin. I hope that reference doesn't have a problematic origin. I see it all the time, and I say it sometimes. And
it's a I'll explain it once we're done with the podcast.
Okay. Is it SpongeBob?
No. It's news more than politics.
News. Okay, cool. Anyway, we start with a match already in progress from the pre-show. Jet Speed and FTR in what I thought was a pretty fun contest.
Yeah, the part of it we saw, at least, maybe the first half of the match was dog water, but the bit they showed on the actual pay-per-view broadcast, fun.
It wasn't for anything, and FTR won. I don't know what else to say about it.
It didn't matter, but it was fun. That is a good thing on this card.
Yeah. Next up, for another match that didn't matter, but was fun, not as fun, was Tekla versus Jamie Hayter. Singles match. Everyone was banned from ringside, I guess. This was pretty good. Not amazing, but pretty good. I really want to love Tekla, but she hasn't quite given me a reason to mark out yet.
Yeah, she's got, as the children might say, it feels like we're transitioning away from this at this point, so there will be a new term for it soon. But she has excellent aura. She's cool. She's got that cool factor, to use an older term. And she's got a great look. She's got great moves. She's very interesting. She promos a hell of a lot better than I would in my, I assume, third or fourth language. But she's not... Something's missing to bring it all together. Jamie Hayter is still Daphne for reasons that no one understands.
Look, can I mask off for a second?
Absolutely.
She's just really pretty. And the clothes look good on her. It's a vibe.
Look,
let her live.
Look, if it is just I like how this looks, then that's the same reason Tekla is what she is, and that's fine.
I mean, and what gimmick goes along with that? Is she supposed to... is this 1999 WCW and she needs to be coming out going, groovy, baby, yeah!
I don't know. Look, it's just a very specific look that is not currently the wave of retro.
Sure.
So it's not like it's just a retro look. It is a very specific throwback look that she's very consistent with, that is in no way connected to her gimmick. It would be like if... who's a good counterexample? You know what? It would be like if Will Ospreay was unchanged from his current gimmick and dressed exclusively in 60s mod fashion and came out on like a little Vespa scooter, and everything else was the same.
Man, I hate to inform you of this, brother. This is your perspective, self-reporting here. The Will Ospreay version of that is this fights for his family, blue chipper, well, green, given his predilections, hardworking man. Sure does do everything he can to talk about Assassin's Creed.
He loves that video game.
It doesn't have anything to do with his gimmick.
And if that's all... No, he's the aerial assassin. He names all his moves after Assassin's Creed.
Right, but it doesn't...
If she named her shit I don't know, Stagflation or whatever it is you wanted to name from the 70s. Gas shortages... Jimmy Carter. I don't know.
Hey, he's all right. He likes them peanuts.
But it's so disconnected from the rest of her gimmick that it feels incongruous. I'd like an explanation. If it is genuinely just I like this, I think it's neat. Fine, say that, please.
You like Brodido.
I do. Yes.
Get out. Stop. You disqualified. Uncounted. Do not listen to this man. Jamie Hayter won, to my surprise. This was the only call I missed this show.
I missed a bunch. I had a bad record. We didn't get to predict beforehand because of, again, events. So we were just sort of predicting on the fly. Turns out I'm fucking bad at that, y'all.
The next match was Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks in a $500,000 tag team match. The winner got $500,000 of real monies. This was probably my match of the night. Whereas Tekla does not go over that hump for me into making me mark out, Jack Perry really does. My mood upturned a significant degree once he came back and started doing his shit. It doesn't even matter whether he's teaming with Luchasaurus, whether he's being a heel. I'm for Jack Perry.
He's currently Jungle Jack Perry, what have you. It's just, but the gimmick hasn't really changed. It's just the name has. It's good to have my scapegoat back. Jack Perry's change from the terrible heel gimmick he had to the scapegoat gimmick was born of terrible real life circumstance, and it was the best thing to ever fucking happen to him because scapegoat Jack Perry is cool as fuck, and it's really good to have him back.
I agree. I'm glad that Luchasaurus is back and not being called Kill Switch. The action in this match was really fun. Not the most explosive performance by the Jacksons, but still really good. And then they didn't get any monies, and they didn't even have enough money to buy the pay-per-view. Yeah,
32-17, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
This is someone who we watch the pay-per-view with live mentioned that apparently in an interview they were like, well, we're not at our lowest low yet. It's coming. It's coming.
Maybe they can hire Bishop Dyer to and maybe uplift their finances the same way he did his own in the past.
It would be nice to see him, but
we'd have two bishops. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the next contest was a Tornado Trios match to determine the number one contender for the AEW World Trios Championships. That is the Hurt Syndicate versus The Demand. This was really fun, but I think it was one of the less good matches. Not the best match they've done recently. That was probably the hardcore match.
Of their matches, the hardcore match was the best, I think. This was perfectly fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
There wasn't a bad match on this card for me. None of the matches themselves were bad. It's just the storytelling and decision-making around them I sometimes didn't vibe with. This, however, is not the case for this match. I really like this feud. It's not that it's amazingly booked. It's booked competently. And that is apparently in short supply sometimes around the Hurt Syndicate. Specifically for some fucking reason. I like the Hurt Syndicate. Now that they're free from...
That was just a cat.
They're fighting.
Hold on, let me break this up.
Anyway, now that they're separated from the terrible booking fucking hurricane, the vortex they've been stuck in for so long, it's nice to like the Hurt Syndicate again. And The Demand is maybe, I am presaging that it might be a winner of one of my end of the year awards for being such an amazing surprise. This is the best glow up I have fucking seen from wrestlers in forever.
Yeah.
The Gates of Agony were turbo choppers, dude. I would be less surprised if Griff Garrison won a match than the fucking Gates of Agony. The Demand, GOA as part of The Demand, are top tier talent. And all it took was someone was a repackage, someone who's a very experienced, good talker to be their mic man, and someone, and them to be treated like they look.
Yeah, I agree. I was a fan of the Gates of Agony, but you can only job my guys out so much. I can't care about Beast Mortis because
he's a jobber.
Yeah. I was watching the AEW Games podcast this week, and Evil Uno said that if he was a kid and he was watching wrestling, Beast Mortis would be his dude.
Guy, yeah.
And I was like, man, how disappointing would that be to tune in every week to see that guy?
Well, he's really cool, but it would be heartbreaking to see him lose every week.
He never wins anything. Hurt Syndicate went over here, and I think really either party could have, but this is fine.
The storytelling opportunities for each were different depending on what happened. Hurt Syndicate going over here helps make good coherent storytelling out of things that happen later on the card. So I'm for it.
We go into this is about the point where the show started to go downward.
For you.
Yeah, for me. Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe about the TNT Championship. Hey, this was 25 minutes a match. They did good stuff. They did good spots. I just don't care.
This is one of two examples of something very specific that happens with AEW. And that I didn't really feel like it happened much back in WWE. When it did, it was much worse. But it happens more in AEW. which is I don't know why it's happening. Maybe it's TK, maybe it's the wrestlers, maybe who knows, who could say. But AEW sometimes just refuses to end a feud. Just refuses. Just won't.
I think in part this was like an unofficial best of series.
And you know what? That can work. But if you don't make it official, then I don't know. It never ends.
Yeah.
I don't. This is their 5th singles match in the last, and that's they were hyping up as Kyle Fletcher, Mark Briscoe 5. Hey guys, that's not a thing you should be hyping up. If you see that in your little stat book, you should go, oh fuck, we should probably do something else.
I agree.
Unless there's some really compelling reason, and there isn't here. There simply is not a compelling reason for these guys to still be fighting.
I mean, they have fine enough chemistry, but like storyline reason.
Oh, yeah. I want to be clear. The match was really good. This is 2 examples on this show specifically of the match was really good, comma, I don't give a shit at all. Because I don't, for a picosecond, believe this will be the end of the feud. I can't trust you. I have no idea where I am in the story, so I can't commit to it. It's just thing happening. Again.
Yeah. I think Mark Briscoe winning the TNT title here would have been cool, but for his character, but I don't think it would have been the right call.
I would like to see Mark Briscoe with a singles title that in actual AEW. I know he's been Ring of Honor champion before, but just for his character, exactly. But Kyle Fletcher's doing fine things with the TNT title. There's no reason to take it off him.
Yeah, I'm mostly getting over my butt hurt. We haven't gone back to I like this guy yet, but he's paid his penance, and no one seems to be mad at him other than me. So, Timeless Tony Storm. Too many cokes. Timeless Toni Storm tried to take Chris Statlander's AEW Women's World Championship, and if you're saying to yourself, Chris Statlander is the AEW Women's World Champion,
so is Timeless Toni Storm.
Yeah, check our last podcast for details on that. Not our literal last one, our last AEW pay-per-view podcast. This was the least good match on the card, I think.
I am the resident Two Nerds podcast Toni Storm Mark. I love everything she does. She's fried gold. This gimmick is amazing. He's right. This is the least good match on the card.
So we used to play a lot of Journey of Wrestling, and they go on a 3-star rating. A 1-star means you're not good. 3 stars mean you're going to knock it out of the park pretty much every time. And a 2-star means it's basically a coin flip, whether you do really well or pretty poorly. Chris Statlander and Toni Storm both have a 2-star work rate. And they've been flipping a lot of heads lately, but this match had some instances of tails.
I wouldn't say it was a bad match.
No.
But it certainly was the closest to that designation on this card. I think the build was good for what they could do with it, and the time frame they had to work with. I liked a lot of the promos, especially Chris Statlander just deciding my build being, my whole character being completely incoherent for the last 2 years. Yeah, that was intentional.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
And we're just gonna, you know what? Honestly, based.
Honestly, I think the build for this was pretty good. I feel like this was some pretty clean storytelling to wrap up Tony's reign and move on to the next thing in earnest.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree. It solidified Chris Statlander. She won. That's not a huge spoiler. She just won last. They're not going to rip it off her unless
they could have, but yeah.
unless she punched a baby, they're not going to do that.
Or if the plan was only for her ever to have a token run.
I feel like that's not really how
I don't think that's how
AEW doesn't tend to do that to their titles. Regardless of who holds them.
Brody, I think, was the only one, and that wasn't. No one presaged that one.
No, certainly not. But like, I think it's the right call for Chris Statlander to win. I think the build was good. The match was fine, but it was only fine. Nothing blew my skirt up.
It was a pretty good Dynamite match.
Yeah. This is, again, you've heard him be completely exasperated from me in previous podcasts about how much of a huge, unapologetic mark I am for Toni Storm. It was a rough night at the office.
Yeah, I will say one of the worst parts of it is that one of the botches was the finish.
And they just went with it. Fuck it. I guess Chris Statlander's finish was a scoop slam now.
I guess. Saturday Night Fever has abated your Saturday Night Fine.
But you still lose, haha.
Yeah, this was followed by a small confrontation between Stat and Mone. Mone came out and had any champion laid out the challenge. Any champion could come face her. I don't believe this was billed because it was an open challenge.
You know, it was a surprise open challenge match where she's like, I will put my TBS title on the line, bring any champion, bring your title out. We'll have a champion versus championship match. And I will break Ultimo Dragon's championship record on this podcast unexpectedly.
Okay, all right. May I speak?
The mic is yours.
Okay, I'm going to say things you might be surprised by. First of all, the person who comes out to answer the challenge is Mina Shirakawa. While I don't think this was the best match on the card, I think both women put on a really good performance. I was on the edge of my seat. I marked out at a couple of kickouts. If you can get that out of me, that's good work, even if I don't like what you're working. Unexpected that this was. That was a complaint you and I both had, correct?
Yes, the floor is yours. I do have things to say after.
Sure. It turns out the next day she was going to win another title from another promotion. AEW wanted to have her breaking the record on their show.
So that honestly deflates a lot of. If you were in the Discord, I bitched fairly vociferously in there about what an absolute waste of what would be a very interesting storyline of her chasing Title 11. You know, this incredibly momentous occasion, chasing it and having to work for it, and that would be great storytelling, and they felt like they wasted it. Turns out, no, it was already pre-wasted, and they were just getting theirs. And you know what? Fine.
The third thing. So there's some contention about how many titles Mercedes actually has, because I think 2 of them represent one title, and one of them is the Owen title, which is not actually defended.
She's a heel, essentially.
Sure. So she may only be representing, say, 9 or 10 titles at this point. In that sense, Ultimo Dragon was representing 3.
Yeah. Yeah, like, look, he had 10 belts, guys, but...
He even had 11, actually, at one point, not long after the famous picture. The picture that is on our YouTube banner.
That you can fucking look up and see.
Always has been there.
He's our day one.
Yes.
Our listener, Ultimo Dragon.
So, like, once I learned that and researched it, I felt a lot less bad. And now looking back, I can enjoy what was a really good match between someone I am so relieved can work at the rate she's comfortable with and be the excellent wrestler she is that she could never be in WWE.
She really feels like she's come into her own.
Yes.
Back in the day, we had complaints about Sasha Banks being very unreliable. That's not true of Mercedes.
Nope.
She doesn't always deliver, an all-timer, but that's an unrealistic expectation to have of someone. She always delivers quality content. And she's a good heel, dog.
Mina Shirakawa, who I would love to see more of. I really do like her. She was great in this match. They put on a great contest. My temporary heartbreak aside, it's been a day. I'm over it. I'm being reasonable here. I'm sorry, Destrucity KTL. You don't get the crash out you were hoping for. I'm being an adult.
Oh no, he does. The next match still happened.
Oh well.
So
only if you wind me up to that point.
Strucy gonna get his crash out.
Mercedes won. She now has all those titles, like we said. They did a promo slightly later in the night, where Renee asked Toni what she's going to do, and Toni's like, I don't know, I have nothing. And Mina shows up, and she's like, Mina, we have nothing. And Mina says, no, we have each other, implying that they'll be going after the tag titles, and I like that.
I would like to see them as tag team champions. There's actually a lot of women's tag teams I would like to see as tag team champions.
Do you know
so nice?
Why I would like to see Mina Shirakawa and Toni Storm as a tag team and even the AEW Women's Tag Team Champions?
Well, because they're girlfriend and girlfriend. They have a pre-existing relationship.
For months, they have been building up their friendship. It didn't start as a friendship. It started rocky.
It's got to be like a year plus.
Perhaps, yeah. And there's so much history between them, and it's good to see them on the same page after, and it doesn't have to be a year, but after some kind of buildup to indicate that they'd ever met before. I am really excited for this going forward. Now I'm going to segue into the Tag Team Championship match. Brodido versus the Don Callis family. That is to say, Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita.
Okada and Takeshita make an excellent tag team because they're both in the Don Callis family, and there is some inherent tension over who is essentially the ace of the Don Callis family, over who is the big dog.
Which is a spectacular storyline. They've been doing this so well.
Yes, and I love it, and the eventual 1v1 for like the New Japan title between Okada and Takeshita is going to be all time. I'm going to miss it because it's going to be on New Japan, and that's going to suck. But it's going to be an all-timer. It's very exciting. This storyline is building very well. I'm very happy about it. And then there's Brodido. I like Brodido. But
no, stop. You memed Brodido into success. You manifested harder than I've ever seen you focus in on anything, and the universe went, you know what? Just this one time? Fine, you can have it. And now I'm cursed with it.
So Brodido, for people who do the reading, might remember, Brodido were a thrown together tag team in a tag team tournament. They were a thrown together tag team because Brody King and Bandito are friends. So they teamed together.
In real life, away from the ring, we've never seen this on AEW television.
No, Brody King was in a cult for several years on television, so they couldn't hang out. But in real life, they're bros. So they threw them together for a tag team. And I so desperately did not want to watch the fucking Young Bucks wrestle FTR again that the Brodido was the last possible chance for that not to happen. So I made a choice in the middle of the match that would cause that not to happen, to just all in, to go from being Brody King's a jobber, he can't win anything, which was my correct opinion for a long time.
As an observation, really.
You can go back and listen to that. To just immediately go, no, I believe in the heart of the cards. I believe in Brodido. This will happen. They will win. I have decreed it. And then it happened. And then they won the tournament. And then they won the titles. And now they're winning every single. They're doing so well. They're my boys. I chose that they would win. I said, no, I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to emotionally commit to this being a reality. And then it was. I like Brodido. Now, having said that, do they make sense as a tag team bereft of my decision that they are the kings? No, they don't.
And AEW has done nothing since. The only storyline Brodido has to show off their cohesion as a team is that Bandito has been trying to get Brody King to dance the Macarena for some time now.
Yes, and also their tights match now, and they've got a
That's
fun...
not the same. That's not a story. That's just gear.
It's part of the storytelling. And they have
doesn't count enough.
They have a little entrance, so they have their own song. They've got a fun little like cartoon Tron with like they're in the same art style, hanging out.
5 hours of Photoshop does not a storyline constitute.
It's part of the storytelling.
I'm gonna tell you a story.
Okay, go ahead.
The back of my hand and the front of your face.
No.
I would never. We stopped the domestic abuse joke because it became kind of upsetting for both of us. I like Bandito a lot. I have positive but mostly neutral feelings about Brody King. The second they won, I can't remember what this is from, probably The Simpsons, it's me. I had that moment of everything going numb around me as I was like chuckling, like, well, good for the boy. And you were laughing and everyone around us was celebrating, and the realization set in that this was literally a thrown together tag team defeating other able-bodied established tag teams. One of them is the world champ of Ring of Honor, but still, this is bad WWE tag team booking.
Yes, absolutely. I wish to be fully clear. If I had not, if they were not necessary to stop a match I really didn't want to see another of, if I had not put my heart into and believed in the heart of the cards, if I had not fully bought in mid-match to Brodido and was immediately rewarded, I would probably be at least half as mad as this guy is. But I did, so I love it. It's great. They can win forever. I don't care.
Also, if all of that hadn't happened, I would also be half as mad as I am, because I wouldn't be having to hear your enthusiasm.
My joy, it brings him rage.
In this specific situation, yes. Now, Brodido retained their titles. I think that was the right call here. I think a storyline with Okada and Takeshita trying to get along while they're the champions could be fun, but it is also a little overplayed, and I think Brodido's rise is...
And Okada already has like 3 championship belts, and Takeshita is literally the IWGP World Champion.
It just doesn't seem likely.
It's just, they already have too much shit to do. Not everyone is Mercedes Moné.
So we bridged from that, which was fine action. It was pretty good, actually. Into Hangman Adam Page defending his AEW Men's World Championship against Samoa Joe. This was, for me, a 19-minute match that felt like 5. None of it bad. I just sort of felt like it
happened.
It breezed.
Yeah. It was good. It was well paced.
Sure.
It didn't no lag time.
Agreed.
No real high spikes in adrenaline either. It was just, they kept it tight, they kept it breezy, and it was, Joe is great, Hanger's great. So it was a great match. I think the build probably could have been a little better, but it was kind of short notice, and obviously at least partially to help, advertise the new Twisted Metal show. But I liked it. I always liked Samoa Joe when he chose a little bit more of an edge, because Samoa Joe is a great face and a great heel, and he's great in all circumstances. Samoa Joe is the best Samoan named Joe.
If you live on the Isle of Samoa and you are a natural-born citizen there, or you have a lot of Samoan ancestry and your name is Joe, we just don't know you.
You might be excellent.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
I'm specifically joking about Roman Reigns. Yes. I want to be perfectly clear.
And he loves Roman Reigns. He kisses his Roman Reigns doll every night and says, "Good night, Joe. I hope you sleep well." And he
I acknowledge my tribal chief.
Into a little bed he made for him.
But Samoa Joe will kill you.
He cut down a small tree and he sanded the wood himself, and it was a wonder to behold. And he looked at me while he was doing it and said, "This is all for little Joey." But Samoa Joe superior. The Ops turned on Hanger after that. That was like, okay. This can happen, sure.
They're the Ops. I mean, like, they've been faces for the last little while, by, as you put it, by default, because they've been fighting heels, but they never pretended to be the good guys.
No, the Ops and the Hurt Syndicate are both neutral. It just depends on
very similar ways, to be honest.
They're just here to fuck people up.
Who are they fucking up this week? Do we like them? Then we cheer the Ops. Do we like them? Then we boo the Ops. Do we hate them? We cheer the Ops. The Ops are just here to fuck people up.
And same thing for the Hurt Syndicate, except that everyone loves the Hurt Syndicate so much that they're like, I guess those guys are bad guys now.
Yeah, it's the opposite. It is the opposite. Same energy, but opposite reaction. Whoever the Hurt Syndicate is fighting, those are heels now.
Yeah. Sorry, conglomeration. This brings us to our main event, which started out rough for me. Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin. This is your main event. I wondered why. It's an I Quit match. And then watching what the ring looked like at the end of it, I understand.
Yeah, and ain't nobody want to wrestle after that.
No.
So this is a tale of 2 matches. There's the match that happened and the match that exists in my spirit. They're different matches. The match that happened was, factually speaking, excellent. It was a very one-sided I Quit match where the story was the same as, like, The Rock versus Mick Foley. It was, I'm bigger and stronger and I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And the other guy goes, right, but that doesn't mean you win this time. You can beat the shit out of me all you like. I'm just going to hang around until you're tired, and then I'll win anyway.
In this scenario, Jon Moxley was a Dark Souls boss, and Darby Allin kept coming back from the bonfire, spitting out a tooth and going, let's do this again.
I thought this was America. I ain't hear no bell. And It's great storytelling. I mean, not great wrestling, but that's not what the match is about. This was excellent. It was mid. In my heart, I don't care. Because I don't believe you. I don't trust you. You guys have had fucking 4 feud-ending stipulation matches in the last 3 months. I don't care. I don't believe you. I don't believe this is the end of the feud. This should be the end. An I Quit match should be the end of whatever feud it's a part of. It just should. You shouldn't continue past that. You quit. Feud over. And I don't believe that this is over.
Their last match was a coffin match, which should be the end of a feud.
You're dead. You got put in a coffin. Feud over. I can keep going back. This is... I don't believe you. And because I don't believe you, I can't love this match.
So when we talk about wrestling, we will often, and movies as well, but we will often mention that suspension of disbelief, that ability to turn off but wait, that's not how any of this works, and just enjoy the product that's in front of us. Some of us have varying degrees of success with that, cough me cough, but, it is essential to enjoying wrestling.
I need to believe you. Even if it's just for the duration of the match.
Right.
You need to convince me that it's like the Donner Superman movie. For the length of this movie, I need to believe a man can fly. Otherwise, the movie doesn't work.
Superman ate people?
I'm not. I just can't. I'm sorry.
Oh, God. One of those times I wish this podcast was visual. His disappointment on his face etched. It was like in Ren and Stimpy when they cut away to like a really, really well-detailed grizzly thing. That was your disappointment face.
I love that we both have that exact visual reference in our brains.
That image of Simon Cowell that's been distorted where he's very disappointed in you. That was
But during this match, I need to believe that this is the climax. That this is the ultimate test of these two ideologies clashing. I need to believe that, otherwise the match is just two guys pretending to beat the shit out of each other. Also actually beating the shit out of each other.
We as a society, this one was for the sickos, complain about the superhero movie fatigue to its varying degrees of realness. What would have been immediately worse? If the next movie after Endgame was the Avengers versus Thanos, and the movie after that was the Avengers versus Thanos, and the movie after that was the Avengers versus Thanos.
This is something from all the way back in our e-fanning days, but I played a lot of bad guys back in the day. I'm a DM, I play a lot of bad guys now. As the villain of a story, you need to know when the stage is well quit of you. You need to know when to go kicking and screaming up the ramp like Chris Jericho. It's important that you learn that, because otherwise it all falls apart.
And I don't know where the disconnect here is. I don't want to lay blame on anyone specific. This seems anomalous and strange. Even in AEW, which you rightly pointed out earlier, has a hard time stopping the feud. This is so much over the line. You're dry. You're empty. You are deflated on the mattress, and she's still jorking.
Basically, I got nothing. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is spongy and bruised.
I don't know that the spirit is really all that into it. The spirit would really like maybe just a break for a drink of fucking water or something, maybe?
I want to be clear. If on Dynamite and Collision and the next few weeks until the next pay-per-view, this feud doesn't come back like a fucking zombie, if this is over, if we're done with Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley for a little while, and preferably done with Jon Moxley for at least a month, dog, go fucking hug your child, I don't care. Then retroactively, I love this match. I will literally go back and watch it again to enjoy it anew, because it is excellently done. I just don't buy it.
I won't. It's icky. A man put a thing under a man's finger. No. That's specific. No.
It was really awful.
I had to not. I didn't with the looking. I was gone.
It was awful.
Eyes off. fucking dead inside. The fish tank spot. No, who gives a shit? I don't fucking care. That's clearly kayfabe. Jon Moxley did an incredible job of intensely throwing his opponent's head into water, slowing down at the very last second to stop and let him gently dip inside, and then thrashing him around like they were really fighting. Phenomenal. As good as you can do with that kind of thing. Whatever, it was fine. That would be kind of cool if I weren't fatigued, as you mentioned. But that spike thing, fuck off with that shit. I don't like them spikes. I don't want to see them again unless I'm having kebabs. That's how I feel.
Yeah, that seems fair.